Hello, everybody. This is the Starving Martian, and I don't do a lot of Transformer reviews on my channel. This is, in fact, the first one. The reason for that is because most Transformers have like 3 dozen reviews out there already, done by people with more talent than me on more sophisticated equipment, and there's just no use in trying to follow their footsteps. Besides, the whole point and purpose of my channel is to show off items that you won't see other places, to show off things that nobody else feels like showing off. But every once in a while, those two worlds collide, and you get a Transformer that has very little YouTube screen time. And one such Transformer is this fellow right here. This is Cheetor, Beast Machines Cheetor from the Transformers Titanium toy line. Now, interesting thing here is that Beast Machines is usually regarded as one of, if not the worst, Transformers shows ever produced. The toys for Beast Machines are considered some of the worst toys for Transformers ever made. I would disagree slightly with the second point, um, but I see where they're coming from. And of the Transformers Beast Machines toys, the Cheetors are usually considered amongst the worst. Now, Transmetals are considered one of, if not the worst, toy lines as well. And that I can attest to. I used to have a Optimus Prime from the Transmetals, and it was based off his look in the comic book miniseries War Within, and it was a nightmare. And it wouldn't stand, and it was top heavy, and pieces fell off when you tried to transform them, and it was not a good thing. This, however, is a good thing. It's amazing, but when you combine two of the worst Transformers series together, you actually get a decent toy. This is possibly the best Transformers Transmetal, and also definitely, in my opinion, the best Beast Wars Cheetor, and one of the best Cheetor figures um, out there at all. So let's take a look at him, and then we'll get into the transformation, shall we? Let's. Now, coming in close, you can see he's got nice cheetah head, paws, tail. Got a maximal symbol on his back. Some nice spots going on there. On his thighs, you can clearly see his swords here for beast mode, but they do have the same curve as his legs do, so they do kind of blend a little bit. Now he does start to fall apart if you move him too much. Here he is head on. See the spots continuing down to his head there. His mouth, which does not open. That's got a nice little snarl going on. The underside of the figure. And that's about it. He's got these red spots on his shoulders. And I don't know what else to tell you. It's a nice cheetah mode. You're not going to get too much poses out of it, though, because the legs, they swivel all the way around. They're on this ball joint, and they bend in a little bit. But as I said, if you put too much pressure on it, it starts to come apart here, so you have to be careful where you place it. The back legs have a little more room. The way the joint is here, you could swivel them around, and, up and down a bit. Now, what I've heard about the Transmetals is that the team working on them had never done transforming toys before. Because Transmetals actually started off with the Star Wars line, and they were just shiny metallic figures in a little plastic display case to, make you feel like you were buying a collectible instead of a toy. And they did something similar with the Transformers as well. They had Transmetals that were just little metal figurines before they moved on to transforming ones. So what I've heard is that when they made the transforming Transmetals, they had never done transforming toys before. This was their first go at it. That's why so many of them are so horrible. And, I believe that because the way this thing is constructed is unlike any other Transformer I've ever seen. Um, you get a look at these pegs here that the legs are connected to. This is a large, very wide bit of plastic here connecting the two of them. It's unlike any other ball joint I've ever come across. But let's get this guy transformed, and it's another reason I've avoided transformers on the show, is because I find it tedious to try to transform them in front of the camera and not have my arms and my hands in the way and whatnot. But like many Cheetors, this guy transforms super quick, super fast, super easy. But there are a couple things about him that set him apart from the general Cheetor transformation. You know, the joke is you stand him up and adjust the head and you're all set. But this guy actually has a couple interesting things going on. His front paws here do not at any point become his hands, nor do these back paws become his feet, which is the usual transform. You usually get at least one of those two happening on a Beast Former, but that doesn't happen here, and I appreciate that. So let's get this guy transformed. Very, very, very easy. First, what you want to do is stand him up like that. Rotate his body around. Alright, take these paws. And what you're going to do is just flip them to the back and adjust the little footsies. Alright, and that'll become like a heel. Straighten his legs out. The arms, it's going to bend right here at the elbow, and that brings out the robot fists. There you go. And then the head, the beast mode head, flips back and folds nicely along the back here. And that brings his head up here, which is kind of tucked in because you have to do that. It's a step. If you don't tuck his head in when you're going back into beast mode, it will get stuck inside of his chest, and you'll have to open him up with a screwdriver, which is not fun. And then the last step, of course, is to get these swords, pop them off of his thighs. Honestly, this is the most difficult part of transformation. You can see, I don't know if you can, but this is how it pegs in here, and there's actually a little bit of stress mark just from putting the swords in and out. So I never actually pegged the swords onto his thigh in beast mode. I just set them aside. I just did it today to show you guys how that looks. And then his swords will fit nicely into his hands. And you're just about done. Alright, so in robot mode now, Cheetor looks very, very much like his cartoon counterpart, more so than the official Beast Machines Transformers. The shape of the head is off. It's a little too round. If you remember the show, his head kind of swings back, excuse me, a little bit, but aside from that, he's, if I can make a bad cheetah pun, spot on. Now, there's one glaring issue with this figure in robot mode, and it's located right in between his legs. Can you see it? Can you figure it out? Yeah, his tail sadly does not fold up or tuck away or anything. It just kind of hangs there looking a little bit, you know, suspicious, but it'd be nice if you could like push it up or fold it away somewhere, but it doesn't do that. Now, I do appreciate the fact that the tail isn't removable. So many Beast Formers have tails that you just pop off and turn into a stupid looking whip weapon, and I've always hated that. So I appreciate the fact that that doesn't do that, but I do wish it did something. Otherwise, say his head can rotate. It can look up for transformation purposes. His legs have full range of motion. He's got a little bit of bend in the knee. His arms as well go all the way around and come out a little bit. His elbows you know, because of this bit here, you can bring his elbows in a little bit, but that extends the paw. He's a little bit brickish. You're not going to get a whole lot of action poses out of him because even though, like I said, he does have a wide range of motion in the legs, it's hard to get him balanced anything good before he starts to collapse. It's one of the problems with the Titaniums line. They packed a lot of die-cast metal in there, but it does make it too heavy in certain portions of the figure to do anything useful with. So I tend to just have him just kind of standing there with the swords like, hey, how you doing, bro? Alright, so, yeah, you can see his Maximo logo is now on his chest, or his stomach rather. His chest has that spot pattern, as does his forehead. It's got that green chin brace thing going on, little drool cup or whatever that is. Got some green detailing in the arms and in the legs, which wasn't as evident in Beast mode. And like I said, the back of the figure, the head folds up rather nicely on the back. Alright, so that's about it for Transmetal Cheetor. Now, if you want one of these figures, your best bet is probably eBay. I picked mine up for about $25. That's the cheapest they tend to run. They can go up to $40, $45 from there. And if you don't want one, I fully understand. He is a bit of an acquired taste. But as far as Cheetor figures go, I think he works the best out of all of them. And just for a size comparison, here he is next to an official Beast Machines Optimus Primal. So you can see how he scales there, and I think that that's a really good scale for him. So I think the two of those look good together. So, and with, I just noticed that the Martian's eyeballs here on the poster behind him make it look like he has like Mickey Mouse ears. Oh well. So this has been the Starving Martian, taking a look at Transmetal Cheetor. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch up with you next time. Bye everyone.